Hello, hello. It is Laura Mickler, and I am here in our new studio space and wanted to share a little. We're going to call this kind of a release. I do a class called Workday Release where we work on just kind of relieving some tension from the body and letting go of anything. This is also a great practice that you can do in the morning just to kind of stretch yourself out. So, I am going to be working this evening with a blanket, a small bolster, a block, and then also a larger bolster. And if you don't have these items at home, I actually have a smaller video that shows you some of the things you can use kind of in the meantime. So hopefully, I'm not a very good camera angle person, but hopefully you'll be able to see and kind of follow along with what we're doing here. So I want us to get started. We're gonna grab this block, or if you don't have a block, some kind of book. And I want you to make yourself comfortable with this. So if this is not comfortable or your book is not comfortable, I want you to get a small pillow or a bolster. So what we're going to do is start in a big heart opener here. So we're going to lay down on our mat on our back, but we're going to take this block and put it right in between our shoulder blades. So we're going to let our legs come out long here, and then just relax ourselves back. And this may take a little bit of maneuvering so that you're pretty, this should be pretty, sort of looking for. You don't have a lot of work to do this. You want to find a place where it's pretty easy to have that block there. I also don't like to have my throat really stretched and open, so I'm going to take a small pillow, or you can use your blanket, kind of folded up to support my neck and my head back here. So we're going to position that block in between our shoulder blades. And you'll feel your chest really feel like it's just pointing up towards the ceiling. We'll take our shoulder blades, once you've kind of found that sweet spot, and almost like you're trying to hug that block underneath you with those shoulder blades. And we're just going to let ourselves open. And this is what I was talking about with our neck being wide open. This may feel great for you, and if so, that's awesome. I don't like that very much, so I am going to support my head. You can also use another book or another block. We're going to let our arms float down to the mat or the floor, and let's make sure that our palms are turned toward the ceiling. So we're just here in this gesture of receiving. And as we settle in here, I want you to give yourself permission to be on your mat. So you can turn your phone off, any distractions. I know sometimes we can't always get rid of every single one of them, but as many as you can. And I want you to check in with yourself. How are you doing today? And that could be mentally, physically, spiritually. And whatever state you're in, whether that be joy or sadness or anything in between, I want you to just let that feeling be. We are here to feel our emotions, but we're also here to let go and not hold on to things that don't serve us. Start to draw your attention to your breath here, and we're going to focus on relaxing. So I want you to remove your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Make a yawning face if you want to. Stick your tongue out. Really relax that jaw. Noticing that breath, the smooth inhales and smooth exhales as much as you can. I know the block can feel a little funny underneath us, and if it's really, really bothering you, I want you to sit up and remove it and just let yourself lie flat. Let's go ahead and take a deep inhale where we fill up our lungs fully. We'll feel that belly expand like we're breathing all the way down into our toes. And then gently and slowly we're releasing that deep breath out of our mouth. Let's take another deep breath just like that, inhaling in through our nose, filling up all the way. And release it. And just let your breath return to normal for about 5 more breaths. We're going to move very slowly here, but we're going to roll ourselves off of that block onto our side. So when you come off of that block, you can either remove it or just kind of push it back with your back. And we're just going to come onto our side, maybe drawing ourselves up into the fetal position just a little bit here. And what this does is kind of recalibrates our blood flow and our oxygen so that when we sit up, we don't have the whirlies, as I call them. All right, when you're ready, we're just going to gently press ourselves up into a comfortable seated position. And we'll just take a couple of moments here. Our spine is tall. We're really rooted down in our seat. Those sits bones are feeling really, even and flat. Your hands can be doing whatever feels good for you. Let your eyes float closed for just a moment. Let's take a couple breaths here. Slowly releasing our exhale. I like to do this in every class that I teach, but I want us to just get a little bit of a neck stretch in. So what we're going to do to start with here is we're going to keep our chin parallel to the floor, and we're just going to start to look over that right shoulder. And so if your neck is very tight, you may just go to kind of a 45-degree angle. If your neck is really loose, you may be able to peek all the way around behind your shoulders, but we're keeping that chin parallel. And we're keeping our shoulders as much as we can straight forward. We're only twisting at the neck. And then let's start to bring that chin around. And when we get to center, we're just going to bring our left ear down towards our left shoulder. So we're not scrunching up our shoulder to meet it. We're just letting that be relaxed. And you can take some little movements up, down, back, and forth with your chin and see if there's a really delicious spot that feels good to hold. And then while we're already halfway there, we're going to bring that left hand down to the mat and our right arm comes up and over. And we're just going to get a good side stretch here. We're anchoring down into that right hip, lifting out of our ribs. Pushing into our rib cage here, breathing. All right, let's bring our arm back down. Our chin's gonna come back to neutral. And let's take that same mini sequence on the other side. So this time we're gonna start to look over that left shoulder, and because bodies are bodies, you may wanna go someplace different on this side. So we're just gonna follow that parallel line to wherever your neck wants you to stop. Again, keeping those shoulders pretty square towards the front of the mat. Breathe in here. And then let's bring that chin back through center. And same thing here, our right ear starts to become heavy down towards our right shoulder. We take those little movements that feel really good. And then let's follow it up with that side stretch. This time, right hand comes down to the mat. Left arm comes up and over. Lifting out of that left side of our rib cage, that left hip anchors down into the mat. Taking some breaths here. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and bring everything back through center. I want us to come on over onto our hands and knees here. So we're going to come into a tabletop posture. So before we start doing a little bit of movement here, I want you to make sure, and let me take my sweater off so you can kind of see what I'm doing. I want you to make sure that your shoulders are right over your wrists and your hips are right over your knees. So everything's feeling pretty square. And then let's just take a couple of cat-cow stretches here. So with this, we're going to drop our belly first. Our tailbone kind of pops up, our chin and our heart shine forward. And really exaggerate these movements as we take them. We're gonna reverse into a cat, like we're a cat that got startled on a fence. Peeking back at our belly button, that tailbone tips under. And if you want to give your head a little bit of a nod here. And just take a few more of those cat-cow stretches with your own breath. And really, really good here. All right, let's come back to that neutral flat back. And I'm going to scoot up just a little so you can see what I'm doing with my legs here. We are just going to get a little bit of a calf stretch in. So what I want you to do is take that right foot and we're going to step it all the way back. Our toes are kind of touching the earth, and I'm sorry you can't see this very well. But our toes are going to stay where they are, and we're going to press back into that heel. So you're going to feel that stretch probably up the arch of your foot, through your heel, through your calf, maybe all the way up to your glute. And breathe, especially if there's any sore spots in there. And then let's bring that right knee up to meet the left, and we're going to switch and step the left foot back. Same thing here, settling onto our toes, pushing back through that heel. Breathing here. Come back to that tabletop. If you'd like to take a couple of cat-cow stretches here, please feel free. And then I will meet you back in a comfortable seat. We're going to do just a little bit of a stretch. So we really compressed our shoulders when we were on that block. You may kind of still feel like you have a little bit of the outline of the block there. So we're going to take that the opposite way so that we're stretching all the way through. So what we're going to do here, and we're going to do both directions so it doesn't matter, but I want you to take your right arm over to your left shoulder, and then that left arm is going to come over to your right shoulder, trying to stack your elbows. Now, if you can't get it all the way, that's okay. We're grabbing onto ourselves, really giving ourselves this beautiful hug, and I want you to almost use your hands to pull your shoulders forward. And when you do that, your whole torso is going to want to come, and that's okay. That's where we're going. We're just going to gently fold this forward until your low back says to stop. And then you're just going to lower your chin gently down to your chest. And we're just going to breathe here. So almost like we're peeling a shirt that we're stuck in off of our back. Breathing into this stretch. Let's gently bring it back up to a tall spine first. And then we're going to unwind our arms. And I want you to just kind of do a little shoulder wiggle, kind of shake out your arms here. And we're going to reverse that and take it the opposite way. So this time, whatever arm was on top, so I'm going to start with my left hand to my right shoulder and then come underneath with that right arm. So you may find that you could stack your elbows on one side and the other side you can't. That's okay. But we're going to bring ourselves into that nice gentle hug again, pulling our shoulders forward. And then let's start to rest that down, folding forward. Again, let your low back tell you where to stop. And the last thing will be our chin coming to our chest. go ahead and sit our spine back up tall very slowly. We're gonna release those arms, shake everything out. We should feel nice and evened out here since we've done both sides. Kind of give it a little shake here. The next thing I want you to grab is your bigger bolster or your pillow, whichever you're going into, and we're going to come into a supported child's pose, which is probably my very favorite yoga pose. So it is so relaxing. It's something that you can do in your bed. You can do on the floor next to your bed. You can do, I saw a funny meme where it was in the middle of the grocery store, so that's a possibility too. You may want to have your blanket or the other bolster handy. So I'm going to show you where we're going, and then I'll show you some modifications to make it more comfortable. So what we're going to do is take this big bolster or our pillow going the same direction as our mat. So everything's kind of lined up square here. And then I like to take my supported child's pose with wide knees. So what I'm going to do is bring my knees up to each end of that bolster. So I kind of have it in between my knees. And then we're just going to let our torso relax down all the way onto this bolster. So we're going to be held by the bolster completely. And if you are resting on one cheek, I'll let you know when we're halfway through resting here so you can switch it up and make it a little more even for yourself. Now, if this is something that is very hard on your knees or it's just that floor seems really far away, one option is to bring that block or those books and kind of give your bolster a little bit of boost. You can do it flat and bring the floor a little closer to you, or you can do it at an angle just to make that not quite so far for your low back to bend down. The other thing you can do is bring that blanket and put it underneath your knees, kind of like padding, so you can kind of give that support. The other bolster can be good to put behind your knees. It just doesn't let your knee compress quite so far, so it gives it a little bit more cushion. So take all of those or none of those, whatever feels comfortable for you. And we're gonna be here for about 20 breaths, so I want you to really relax down into this. Find a place that's comfortable. And as we're settling in here, I want you to see what part of your body you can soften just a little bit. Maybe it's letting a hip melt down. Maybe you're scrunching your toes. Maybe that tongue is creeped back up to the roof of your mouth. But I want you to relax here. Alrighty, we are about halfway through, so if you are resting on one cheek and want to flip over to the other, I'm not going to, just so you can still hear me, but if you want to switch which side you're resting on. And I'll invite you again to soften. Maybe it's something different this time. Maybe you've tensed that original thing right back up. finish up our final few breaths here in our supported child's pose. All right, when you're ready, moving very, very slowly, I want us to press ourselves up and off of the bolster, bringing our spine straight. If it feels good for you to come back onto hands and knees kind of around that bolster and take a couple of cat-cow stretches here. All right, where we're ready to move now is into our final resting pose, our Savasana. And this is the part of yoga class that, especially if you're doing something virtually, you may be tempted to skip. But I encourage you to give yourself this last little bit of rest. You have all of your props here that you can use. Some favorite postures that I like in Savasana, probably my very favorite, is to put my legs up over the bolster. So that's one option where we just let our legs be elevated and then lay down onto our back. Definitely one option. You can just lay flat on your back without any props. You can come back into that child's pose. You can lay on your belly. But get yourself settled and comfortable. And as we settle in here, I always like to do a little reading. These are just things that I pick up here and there. No rhyme or reason. I just always feel like if I'm compelled to share it, someone needs to hear it. So let me pull up what that looks like as you're getting settled in. All right, this is called Everything Happens as It Should. So let your eyes float closed. Relax your muscles. And if you're ready to tune me out, I definitely encourage that, but if not, I will share this with you. Everything happens as it should. Every moment, decision, choice, encounter, person, mistake, lesson, step forward, step backward, heartbreak, love, failure, breakthrough, dream, are the little dots that create the sum of your entire life. Each experience leads to the next, and although in the present moment it may seem that everything is scattered all over the place, one day you will be able to connect the dots between each part of your life. When you do, you will have the realization that a life void of even just one of those dots would not have made you the person that you are. Trust that everything happens as it should, in a way that is right for you. Maintain that faith, and you will experience the freedom that you are seeking. So continue to let yourself relax in this rest period. And don't worry, I won't let you stay here forever. If your thoughts start to be intrusive, just kind of acknowledge them, thank them for worrying about you. But let them know that we're just going to let them pass by like clouds in the sky. You to slowly begin to bring yourself back into the room you're in. Starting to wake yourself up from this little bit of rest, maybe starting with wiggling fingers and toes, moving very slowly into circles with our wrists or ankles, maybe nods of our head side to side. Moving into your big muscles. It may feel really good to take a full body stretch here, or maybe side to side. And when you feel ready, I want you to gently roll yourself onto your side. We're going to come once more into that fetal position, that posture of rebirth, just letting ourselves relax. And I want you to give yourself a little bit of gratitude for making the time to practice with me here today. And we're going to make our way up to a comfortable seat. You can keep your eyes closed or a soft gaze, making sure we're very comfortable here in our seat. And if you'd like to join me, we're going to finish our practice by taking a deep inhale as our arms come up and overhead. Our palms come together at the top. And if you'd like to join me, we'll bring our thumbs down to our third eye, honoring the sky above. Our thumbs down to our belly, honoring the earth below. And ending with our thumbs at heart center, honoring the peace within. Thank you all so much for practicing with me this today. Namaste.